Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the Aquarium and Fisher Basement. I thought for Thanksgiving we would go around and we'll feed every tank, but we're not just going to feed them their regular food. We're going to give them what they like the best. So whatever, you know, regular food or treats or whatever it is that these guys all like the best, they're all getting their favorite meal tonight. And while we are feeding them, you know, I'll give you the lowdown on the status of each tank. We'll see where everything is at. We know there's a million projects going on here, so we'll get you up to date with where everybody's at. All right, since we're talking Thanksgiving meal, we're talking the frozen food. No flake food tonight for the fish on Thanksgiving. We are going to delve into our treasure trove of frozen foods. Definitely we know shrimp and squid and some silver sides for Predator Bay. I know some fish are going to like some bloodworms. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. So let me go ahead and get out everything I need, and we'll make up preparations for each tank, and then we'll start the meal. All right, so we all know how much these guys enjoyed Halloween, but I'm thinking they're gonna like Thanksgiving even more. So I think rather than tell these guys that Thanksgiving's coming up, maybe I'll just pour a little liquid in from their meal and let them smell what's coming. Oh, the piece fell in, and of course the groupers got it. But I'm expecting quite a bit of activity once the scent gets around that we have a big meal coming. Hey, there's the coral cat shark, the eel. Oh, eel's hungry. Everybody looks hungry. Everybody looks pretty excited. Oh, somebody just woke up back there. All right, let me not tease these guys. Let's get some food in here. Alright, just going to do a little broadcast feeding since it is very hard to film these guys while holding the food. So let's put a bunch in there and make sure that eel gets some. Oh, come on buddy. It's all right there. Oh, it's so close. There we go. There we go. Oh. And to think I was worried about that coral cat early on. He eats like a pig now. I mean, he's definitely one of the boys. Always swimming around with the other sharks. Fits right in. Very happy. Definitely, you know, it's always worrisome. When something gets imported from so far away, it's you know, it's tough on the fish. When you get them here and they finally get acclimated and everything, definitely feels good. Get them all eating. Now these guys I never worry about. The horn shark, the yellow ray, these bamboo sharks, they've turned into total pigs now. And it's been amazing. Ever since I got the second bamboo, it's like the first one just came out of his shell and that they're always out all the time. I thought, okay, maybe with two of them, there'll be one out, you know, at any given time and I can see them. But it's been the other way around. They've just been all out all the time. Also, what I love about the eel is he doesn't just hang out in the rocks all the time. He likes to get out and about and swim around. I mean, and not only just during feeding, but it's cool. See him out and about rather than just see his face sticking out of a rock crevice. Looks like everybody's slowing down a little bit. You know, you get too big of a meal in you. It's easy to fill up and want to take a break. Looks like the coral cat sharks, he's digesting. This guy's slowed down. The bamboos get a little frantic when they're feeding, almost too much so. So it's good to see they're chilling out some. I think they understand there's a good amount of food coming here. They don't have to fight quite so hard for it. And it looks like the eel is back out tracking some more food. Other bamboos coming over. Stingray cleaned up a piece. It's kind of the nice thing, you don't need a cleaning crew with these guys. They are very good scavengers, obviously. That's what sharks and rays do. As well as predate on invertebrates and everything like that. But they are definitely the vacuum cleaners of the ocean, and they are more than happy to go scour the tank and get any little leftover piece of food. They don't leave anything behind. So that definitely helps because it's hard to keep a cleaning crew with these guys. because they would eat them. So it's good that they at least clean up after themselves. Okay, let's go check out the next tank. Okay, anybody following on with the double DIY build knows there's big things coming for these fish. They are soon to be moved from their current 125 abode into their new 600-gallon custom DIY aquarium. So the Asian Jungle Stream tank will be on steroids pretty soon, but in the meantime, let's get these guys their Thanksgiving dinner, which is a mix of frozen cyclops, brine shrimp, some bug bites, and some sinking pellets for the loaches that are in there. All right, here we go. All right, the feeding ball frenzy. Let me back up some. So in this tank, there is a lot of stuff that goes to the bottom, but there's a lot of rainbow sharks in here. There's a lot of loaches that you don't see. They stay hidden until the food goes in. So that, the fact that the barbs are not shy feeders, and they are happy to take the food off of any level of the aquarium, including the substrate. So while it may look crazy at first, they will polish that all off in short order. And as anyone can tell, my plants have overgrown. I've cut them back twice, and they're still just overgrow right back out. So definitely we need to get them in this 600-gallon where they can have lots of room to grow. And I kind of have a plan for them to allow them to grow, out thick, but then use the substrate, or I'm sorry, use the aquascape, the hardscape, to create separations to sort of contain them, so they don't take over the whole tank like they do the 125. And of course, if that doesn't work, I've always got my scissors, and I now have a 100-gallon trough that's just full of cuttings. So maybe I'll go into business selling fast-growing plants, that probably nobody needs because they grow fast for everybody. But that's Thanksgiving dinner for the 125, and next Thanksgiving, these guys will be having their dinner in the 600. Okay, the 600-gallon reef slope. I'm happy to report that everybody's doing great as far as the fish go. The two corals that were doing great are still doing great. The two that aren't. So, but we did fix the sump. You remember the refugium sump, the trigger? This little guy over here decided to chew a hole in my sump liner. He wasn't supposed to be there anyways, but we've got that remedied. And as you can see, we don't have the problem with not having not having coralline algae on the live rock. The 600 is definitely fully grown in terms of coralline algae, and like I said, the sump's been repaired, so the 1500-gallon system is getting back up on its feet, and I have a video coming on that whole process, and so I'll show all the repairs to the refugium sump, and then just show the evolution from the end to now of the entire 1500-gallon system, including the in-wall 265 and the reef slope. But this is Thanksgiving feeding, so let's get the food in there. Okay, so the 600 reef slope, these guys, on some nights they get a mix of flake foods with just a little bit of frozen, maybe brine or something like that. But on nights like Thanksgiving night, they get a mix of frozen marine algae, spirulina brine shrimp, regular brine shrimp frozen, a angel formula, which is a more meaty frozen food, and then also a plankton, ocean plankton for the bigger guys. Mixed in with some veggie flake because we have so many herbivores in this aquarium that they need a lot of vegetable matter in their diet. And I give them that with the Formula 2 vegetable flake for marine fish, as well as I get seaweed in mats, and I cut it up using scissors into lots of little pieces, so it's more like a smaller flake that everybody can munch on, and to make sure that these guys, in addition to what algae they graze from the aquarium, that they're getting plenty of greens in their diet. As you can see, the water flow, we've mostly got that remedied. It's not 100%, but it's definitely good enough for now. It's getting the job done. We'll, as we add more corals and I see the flow, I'll start to tweak it out then. But right now, obviously building the double DIY builds is sucked a lot of my time. So some of these other tanks get into a little bit of cruise control while I'm spending the majority of my free time building the new tanks. But you can see here, everyone is getting huge, and not fat, but well fed. Everyone's just looking good, really healthy. Our little lining chewing demon over here, the blue throat, doing well in his new home, getting along great with everybody. The clowns, they seem like they're finally pairing off. They never fought with each other or anything, but they just ignored each other for a couple months. Our baby queen is doing great. I can't wait to grow this one back up to what we had before and not have to suffer through another jumper fixing that problem with the top. And yeah, it's a good Thanksgiving for the 600 reef slope, and everybody looks well fed. Okay, the 265 portion of the 1500 gallon system. Need to feed these guys from the back because they are in wall, but you're going to see the big pigs in there. These guys are eating clam and krill, brine shrimp, frozen meaty preparations, and some Formula 2 greens, and some isis shrimp. Two of the big pigs in here. We got the Indian black trigger and the emperor angel. All right, once again, looks like a lot of food, but a certain Indian black trigger and emperor angel can seriously put down some food like no tomorrow. Pretty much they go from cube to cube of the frozen, and they just maul it, and everybody else cleans up after them. It's probably a lot like actually in the ocean, where you have the top predators or the top level species that are going after whatever there is, and you got all the little guys chasing around the peripheral, eating up all the scraps. But as you can see, everybody is fat and healthy, so they are certainly getting plenty of food. Everybody's nice and thick, all the way from the dotty backs and the hawkfish, particularly fat hawkfish, clownfish, even the cardinal fish hiding in the back there. And of course, you can't miss the chromis, the black axle chromis. They're looking blue, beautiful, and very thick, very big. So, oh, as of course, what am I forgetting? The tangs. Yellow eye coal tang and the brown tang. Love those guys. I mean, obviously you know I love tangs. You've seen the 600 gallon. I got lots of tangs. So yeah, so the 265 portion of the 1500 gallon system, it's you know, it's still the same thing. It's in the same position. You know, the coralline is beautiful. The fish are beautiful. The fish are healthy. Still doesn't have an identity. I've still never figured out exactly what I do with corals in here. It's same as like the 600. I've just been letting it mature, and you know, ever since I had to fix the refugium. You know, there's a little bit of a hiccup to the system to tear that down and redo that whole thing. Again, I got the video on it. You'll see what a pain that was. But, you know, I don't mind that, you know, everyone's healthy and happy and the system is running well. But it does need identity. I do need to figure out exactly what I want to do with this tank and get it sorted out. But that's kind of the nice thing about the hobby is while I'm focused right now on the double DIY builds, this tank is good to go. And then when I'm ready to work on it, I have the project just waiting for me. So it definitely, there's always something to do. By the time I get one tank how I really, really like it, well, one of the other tanks is ready for something. So, you know, there's a certain amount of tanks that's too much, and there's a certain amount where you just have things to look forward to, other projects. But in the meantime, everyone in the tank is healthy and happy. It's not, you can never skimp when it comes to life support or water quality or feeding quality, that sort of thing. But when it comes to just like changing the aquascape or adding in corals, you know, you have the luxury of, you know, you can get to that when you get to it, and you have a nice project waiting for you when you're ready. But for now, it looks like they polished off the Thanksgiving meal, so we're on to the next tank. Okay, the 220 Amazon Jungle Aquarium. Unless you're new to the channel, you know these guys are also on the move with the double DIY builds. They'll be moving into the new 750 gallon aquarium, where they can really stretch their fins, and we're going to really do the aquascape right. What we try to do in here, remember this is the second attempt at this, never really got it that well, I got it that right, but you know, it's okay, I guess. But at any rate, in the 750, we're going to try to really do it right and give these guys the home I always intended to. So for Thanksgiving, what do you give a group of these cichlids and tetras? Well, their favorite thing is frozen bloodworms. They go crazy for these guys. So we're going to give them a combination of frozen bloodworms, touch color topical granules, extreme pellets, bug bite pellets, so all kinds of things, and a little bit of a sinking shrimp pellet. So let's get their Thanksgiving dinner in the tank. All right. Once again, a smorgasbord. Everyone, they probably can't believe their eyes. Frozen bloodworms. They haven't had them for a long time. They definitely love them. So yeah, the fish here was doing great. The angels, they breed all the time. The Geophagus are doing great. They have their pecking order. They all get along well. The blue acara, I mean, everyone loves the blue acara. Beautiful fish. Got the parrotfish in here. They're getting bigger. You got the smaller one here, and then over on the darker side, you have the larger parrot. Of course, the red gold severum, or the red spot gold severum, chunky and beautiful as ever. The blue-red Colombian tetra, looking great. The Buenos Aires tetra, the Serpe tetra, the black neons, everyone looking great there. And of course, there is a large colony of Cory cats. They are all plump and happy, and you can see doing great. Wow, they're plumper than I remember. Wouldn't be surprised if I have some Corys breeding pretty soon when they eat that good. But yeah, so the tank is doing fine. It just, because of the distance front to back, 2 feet, I was never really able to achieve the scape I was trying to do here. So hence we building the 750. We're gonna give it a try in there, and I think I will be able to. So they're gonna go from the Amazon Jungle Aquarium to the Amazonian Islands Aquarium. And yeah, we're gonna get them done up right. Ooh, new severum over there. I haven't introduced him yet, but we'll wait till we get him in the big tank. But for now, it looks like they have finished their Thanksgiving dinner, and it's time for the next tank. Okay, the 150 Reef Cube. Still not looking like much of a reef. Sort of the same situation as the 265. Been pulled away, and so it's been on cruise control again. Healthy fish, healthy tank, great coralline growth, the invertebrates, everybody's good. In fact, even all the frags, the coral frags in the refugium, they're all growing. They're all doing great. They're just down in the refugium and not up in the display tank where they should be. You know, it's one of those things where I want to get to it, but I want to get to it right and do it right, and I don't want to rush it. So it's one of those things I get to look forward to. It's a project that is waiting for me, and when I'm ready, I'll jump in there and we'll make this thing actually look like a proper reef. But in the meantime, let's feed these guys their Thanksgiving dinner, which is composed of a bunch of frozen foods, spirulina brine shrimp, frozen meaty preparations, and frozen herbivore preparations, and a little cyclopes for the little guys. All right, let's get it in there. Okay, that should bring everybody out of the reef. Always have the powder blue up front. Love that fish, and he just does awesome. We have our little mated pair of Wheeler's gobies down there, front and center. Very plump. I love the way they shoot out and grab the food as it goes by. Definitely very cool. Dotty backs looking good. Blenny's looking good. Firefish. Unfortunately, we had a couple other firefish, but they managed to jump out when I had the old hood, which didn't cover 100%. So now the new hood does cover 100%. So when I get a chance, we'll get some more, and we won't have that problem in the future. And I don't know where the purple tang is, somewhere in there, as well as the well, I see him down in the cave there. Yeah, we sort of rearranged the live rock to get it ready for future corals to create different zones. It used to be higher in the middle. Now we sort of spread it out, flatten it down, so we have the growth coming up. But obviously haven't done that yet. And then of course there's the Fiji berry clowns, which they like to set up shop on the back. So let's wheel around, and yep, of course there they are back in their spot. They've excavated quite a cave complex down there, and they like to hang on the back area. Now this is something where I've been intending to get an anemone for this aquarium and the 265 for the clowns. So that's something I need to get off my butt and do, but it is coming, and again, it's one of those fun projects to look forward to, even though I'm not quite ready to do it just yet. And maybe we can look down in the middle. You can see there's a big cave complex down in the middle. They go all through this. It's not a thick thing of rock here. This is 3 feet by 3 feet cube, 150 cube, so it's very dense in there. And then from the other side, since every viewing window is about the same, so there's a coral beauty, dwarf angel in here, as well as the purple tang and the 6-line wrasse, but they seem to be doing a pretty good job of hiding in the middle. There's the 6-line wrasse there. And let's see if we can find the coral beauty and the purple tang. So if we look in the cave there, we see the purple tang. He's in there with one of the Fiji berry clowns, and I'm sure the dwarf, I'm sure the coral beauty is also in there. I don't know why they're kind of weird, where they'll be in the front all the time, then they'll be in the back. They just sort of go from different areas. I don't really know the rhyme or reason to why they choose to move around. Maybe that's just the situation when you have a cube tank and kind of all the sides you have sort of about the same spacing from the reef in the middle on all four sides. So I guess they just sort of set up shop in different areas from time to time. Could be, you know, the water flow, could be the feeding. I have the, you know, it's on a controller, so there's more or less water flow different times of the day. So they do tend to move around a little bit, and they could be somewhat of a factor. I think that's something to look into, actually, to see, are they, you know, they liking or not liking how much water flow. Basically try to figure out, like, are they moving around to stay where there's lots of water flow, or are they going to where there's not as much water flow, that sort of thing. And that's a pretty cool little cave there for the orchid dotty back in there, just being able to right in that live rock, piece of live rock there. Very cool. Kind of like these guys down here with their nice little cave home. But that is Thanksgiving dinner for the 150 Reef, and I think it's time to feed the 3,000 gallon. Okay, so as you can see, there's not really just one spot where you can sort of sit and feed the 3,000 gallon and actually see everything, being that it's 21.5 feet long. It just doesn't work that well for that. So, and the fact that it's in the wall, so I have to actually go around back to feed these guys. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get their Thanksgiving meal together, and I'm gonna feed them over on the right side. So we'll aim for this spot here, and we'll try to get the food in there, which hopefully should bring out the Lima shovelnose, who are hiding under the wood back there, and as well as all the pikes, the peacock bass, the parrotfish, the Oscars. We'll get everybody out here and get them all fed. Okay, for the 3,000 gallon, we're gonna give them some jumbo carna sticks, some of these other tetra sticks for big fish, as well as some bulk. It's kind of like, it's from Aquarium, but it's kind of like massivore, but it's a sinking meaty food. They really love this stuff. They go crazy for it. They'll pikes, everybody be picking it off the ground, but trying to beef up the Lima shovel nose, so want to make sure I have plenty of food in there for them. And all right, so what we're gonna have to do is, because we feed Predator Bay from behind, we're gonna throw the food in, then we're gonna run around the front, and we'll try to get as much of these guys feeding as possible. But you know, these big cichlids, you've seen feeding videos on this tank before, they eat fast. They're ambush predators. They hit the food hard, they hit it fast. Okay, let's see how much we caught. So yeah, they've all already got big mouths full of food. They've been hitting it, but there's still some going around. You can see those pellets I was talking about. See, I have all the pikes down there. You know, they love that. They love those sinking carnivore pellets. They're munching away. The Lima shovelnose will be back there. They'll be munching away on them. Everybody loves them. The parrotfish. So they're a big hit. Of course, you know, the Oscars and the peacock bass, they tend to hit those sticks off the top. That's kind of their main go-to. You know, I don't feed live to these guys, so there's not like necessarily a special food. They're already pretty much eating high off the hog every single day. You know, they're living the life. They've got 3,000 gallons, and they're having a Thanksgiving dinner daily. So they're loving life, but it's worth it. I love these guys. I love this tank. I love having a community of pike cichlids getting along. I love having the Oscars and peacock bass, everybody getting along. And yeah, just nothing but enjoyment with the 3,000 gallon since the leak was fixed, whatever episode that was. Other than that, it's been treating me really well. And oh my gosh, have those baby peacock bass grown fast. I mean, it shouldn't surprise me, it's peacock bass, but they grew fast. So looks like they're putting the finishing touches on their Thanksgiving meal. All right, well, these guys put the finishing touches on their Thanksgiving meal. I think that wraps it up for this video, but there's a lot of upcoming videos coming. We have the double DIY build part 3 coming very, very soon, like maybe tomorrow. And also another video on the 3,000 gallon where it's 8 tips to keeping these big Amazonian cichlids, predatory Amazonian cichlids in the home aquarium. Now these are hopefully tips maybe that you haven't heard of before, or maybe, you know, maybe I touch on 1 or 2 that are new to you, they get a benefit out of it, or if you're just new to keeping these fish, hopefully all of them are beneficial to you. But that video is going to be 8 tips to keeping large predatory Amazonian cichlids based on my 35 years experience of keeping them. All right, thanks for watching.